Let me tell you why I love the Fani Willis story. Gilligan's Island. That's right, Gilligan's Island. When I was a kid, I loved watching Gilligan's Island. It seems like every day when I come home from school, there would be Gilligan's Island. And I remember asking myself, how can this be? How do they make the pies? Why did the Howells bring all those keys with them and the brandy and the money? And why can they never make a transmitter, but they can a receiver? And it went on and on and on and on. And it was a great, it's like, what's wrong with this picture? This is the Fani Willis case. I don't understand it. There's always a new story. There's another story. You heard about Cindy Lee Yeager yesterday, right? That's the best one. That's the best one. Have you heard the latest? Have you heard the latest story? Have you heard of Manny Aurora? Make sure I'm getting the spelling right. Yes, Aurora. Did you catch Manny Aurora? Did you hear this one? You're thinking, wait a minute, who? Wait a minute, what? This is the greatest. This is the greatest. This story is it never ends. And the best is Terrence Bradley. The best is Terrence Bradley. It's the best. Now here's the story. Before we go on, Terrence Bradley, kind of like this. Here's this guy who's kind of in the fringes, kind of an outlier. You know this guy. Ginger and Marianne. No, wrong. Mrs. Howell. Excuse me, David Mack. Pardon me. By the way, I could tell you a story about Ginger in real life, but I won't. Let me tell you what's going on. Here's this guy, Terrence Bradley, who somehow, this is the best part. I would ask, I keep on saying Natalie Merchant, but Ashley Merchant, please tell me, how did you get a hold of Terrence Bradley? This was Wade's friend. This was a guy who featured, I would think, prominently in terms of Georgia, the Georgia criminal bar. He ostensibly is friendly with the DA. He, and based upon her love life, apparently that's not exactly a tall order. But I digress. So there he is. He's doing his thing, and he likes her, and then all of a sudden, he's talking, for reasons I do not understand, to Ashley Merchant, filling her in with all the dirt she needs, and he's text messaging repeatedly, over and over. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. Are you saying that they were actually having a relationship from 2019? Oh yeah, absolutely. From the time she ran for office. Oh yeah. You sure about that? Oh, absolutely, quote unquote. And Yurty, you know this story. This is Robin Brian Yurty, the sublessor of the Love Shack. You know her story. This is great. She says, oh no, they were kissing and hugging and the whole bit. No, yeah, absolutely. Wait a minute. Wait. You're telling me that this was open knowledge? Oh, absolutely. So she's lying, Fani, and Nathan's lying big time. Why are they lying? They don't have to lie about this. Despite what you may or may not think, it's not necessarily a conflict of interest for her to have a relationship with one of her employees. None at all. Courts have ruled repeatedly there's no conflict of interest or forensic. They say there might be some forensic misconduct. I don't know about that, but But there's been no evidence of this at all whatsoever. Courts have ruled that you can have married couples working side by side. You can even have a married couple against each other. I think that's really weird. But sometimes you get into conflict of interest when you have, let's say, for example, a lawyer representing both parties in a divorce, unless they strictly waive any kind of conflict. It doesn't happen. It doesn't come up. It's not what you think. You might conflict out, unless, of course, remember during the Gotti case? Remember Bruce Cutler? Bruce Cutler turned out to be, who was it who said he was House counsel for Gotti? And Gotti got Al Krieger from Miami. Didn't work. But nonetheless, it's a rare thing. So let's go back to the story. So there he is. And he tells Ashley Merchant, again, go ahead. Ask about this. Ask about the trips. Ask about this. Are you sure? Absolutely. Ask about this. Ask about that. Ask about this. Hey, thanks. No, thank you. Boy, this is a big deal. Don't worry. You can do it. You're fine. He's giving her. Okay, fine. He gets on the stand. He doesn't remember anything. I don't know. Did you tell me this, Terrence? Well, it was speculation. Did you speculate? Were you told me absolutely. What did absolutely mean? Is that you? Were you sleepwalking? Okay, fine. Put that over there. Yesterday we get this story. I think the story goes that Chief Deputy Assistant or Chief Deputy DA Cindy Lee Yeager from Cobb County, maybe having heard this, having been aware of how she didn't know anything about this is beyond me. But anyway. So the story goes, maybe again, I'm trying to. It's like Gilligan's Island. I'm sure. Well, maybe the professor was in on it. Maybe I don't know. I can't figure this out. All right. She apparently calls up or says, wait a minute. You don't understand what happened. I was in my office. I believe it was her office with Terrence Bradley. You're thinking, what? What the hell is he doing there? Yeah. What? Yeah, and this was in a September 2023 phone call. She says that Willis was on the phone with him and said, and how did she overhear this? Did they have this on speaker? I have no idea. But she said, I recognize her voice or could authenticate it somehow. Quote, they are coming after us. I don't know how much of a quote this is from September of last year, but they are coming after us. You don't need to talk to them about anything about us. They are coming after us. You don't need to talk to them. What do you mean you don't need to talk to them? What happens if they subpoena? What happens if, in the interest of justice, did she just give the okay to him to perjure himself? Is this obstruction of justice? Is this witness tampering? I mean, you go through this. Then you say, well, I don't know if there was a witness yet. What do you call what was going on? She heard that the media were basically investigating this. Again, she could have checked with somebody and said, am I in the right? They said, absolutely, you're in the right. Absolutely. We're in the right. I'm in the right. I'm not going to be disqualified. And that she told Judge McAfee that would have been it. Again, that's my theme. And this is the part that kills me. She, like Gordon Soley used to always say, she'd rather climb up a tree and lie and stand there and tell the truth. And meanwhile, Nathan is thinking, wait a minute, what? What? Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Still, I think he's still theoretically married to his wife, Joycelyn. Still, I don't think that's final. I know they agreed into some agreement to finalize this. He was in the middle of a divorce. Well, so to speak. 2015, she claims, Nathan claims his wife cuckolded, put the horns on him. I don't know. And when asked, apparently, and this is still one of my favorites. During one of the marital pleadings, they asked under oath. It's an interrogatory or something, and they asked, were you did you have any outside dalliances outside of your marriage? Oh no, not at all. Because in his crazy mind, he realized, no. See, we weren't happy then. See, we weren't happy. I wasn't happily married. She had sullied and disgraced the marriage. Oh, she did? Okay, all right. Anyway, so that was it. Interesting. I thought, that's it. And this is how Judge McAfee circumvents all this. I'll explain this in a moment. And then basically says, ta-da! But today we have a new one. A new story. A new story. This is the best. This is more of this. I don't understand. This just kills me. A new witness says that he could testify that Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, go back to 2019. And that even he, listen to this, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. And this is one of the best pieces of evidence there is. Why? Listen to what I tell you. Because he even had a garage door opener for their trysts and their love nest rendezvous. So he can just slide on into the garage before he, interesting. By the way, the puns are aplenty. Now, Bradley, who basically clammed up, who said, I understand. He apparently let slip or just talked about confirmation of the affair during several, quote, conversations with Manny Aurora, a former law professor, between September and October. Now, let me stop you right. Let me stop. What the hell? Who did this man, did Terrence Bradley not tell this to? He was telling everybody, anybody who would listen to him, anybody. He didn't stop. He told everybody. He's crazy. I would have told him, you're what? You're getting yourself in the middle. You're a defense lawyer and wait. You're teaming with the woman or the side, Mr. Roman's lawyer, in the biggest case of her life. She's going to spend the rest of her life haunting you. She will walk through your house at night with chains for the rest. What are you doing? What possibly did they tell you? You said you would help the defense in disqualifying? You just disqualified yourself from anything involving that office. You're dead. You will never get a deal for anything. Traffic ticket, littering. They will ask for the chair if your name is anywhere near this. Fani Willis is the most vindictive, arrogant human being in the history of humankind, and you're stupid enough to do this? What is the matter with you? What is the matter? Why are you, and you're in text messages, and then after you do this, you go on the stand and you say, I don't know, I was speculating. Then apparently you're talking to the Cobb County DA's office. And wait a minute, and you're what? You're doing what? No, it gets even better, please. But just hear me out. Now you're talking to her. And why is a defense lawyer, excuse me, a special district or the chief deputy or the deputy chief or the deputy DA, Cindy Lee Yeager, why are you taking any calls? Apparently, you took a call or did it in front of her? And why is she dropping a dime on a fellow prosecutor from the next county? You're a prosecutor and you're siding with the defense. You're a Republican. Oh, listen to this. She says, "Well, I'm a Republican, but no, I ran as a Republican, but I'm really a Democrat." Now I understand, as Sparky told us in Georgia, you don't have to declare. So wait a minute. So Terrence Bradley is just toast with anybody who'll talk to him. Now you've got Cindy Lee Yeager, who you dare to go against your fellow prosecutrix in the biggest case in American jurisprudence because you overheard and you wanted to clarify something. Not that it matters, I think it's funny. What's your axe to grind? Why would you do this? What's the matter with you? Wait a minute, what? What does your DA say? You know, Fani's on the phone saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Cobb County, whatever your name is. Why is your chief deputy basically getting in the way, volunteering this? She didn't have to do this. Terrence Bradley's not going to say anything about it. Why did she do this? First of all, Terrence Bradley's he's even more of a loud mouth. And now, the worst of the worst, and I want you to understand, when you're the prosecutor, you walk on thin ice. You are it is so frightening how you've got to be above and beyond. Your job, your goal, your burden, your focus is on justice, not being an advocate. Do you know what that means? That means that your goal is to deliver justice. You have to do things that defense lawyers don't have to do. You have to give exculpating information under Brady, Brady material, information that tends to exculpate or help the defense of the defendant. Your job is not, you represent the people. You don't represent the victim, you represent the people. And now you are telling a potential witness they're after us. You don't have to talk to them about us. And you said this in front of a fellow DA from another county, the deputy chief or whatever it was, not just some, That's it right there. That's it. So here's what happens. Here's what he could do. Number one, the judge. And if you think, the prosecutor has to be on the up and up, the judge has to refer this case not only to the Bar Association, to the prosecutors they don't have a JQC, but to the prosecutors committee or whatever it is. Oh, no. But you have to then refer it to the law enforcement because you're a judge. You're a part of the you're a part of the executive. You're on the same. You've got to do this. You have to put them on. By the way, the referral says, listen, I'm not saying it's true, but I've got somebody right now. This sure as hell looks like or could be witness tampering and obstruction of justice when you have a DA telling this witness, they're after us. You don't have to tell them that. You don't even get in law, there are sometimes things that happen that seem like consent, but not. For example, police come to your house and there's 12 of them with riot gear and they say, can we look inside your house? And you say, yeah, sure. And you later on, you say, I was so afraid. It's called acquiescing. This is the actual way the case law reads, acquiescing to the apparent authority of the police. You're giving in. You're petrified. You don't know what to do. You're giving in. You're just okay. And the consent is tainted. The consent wasn't valid. When police claim to have gotten Miranda warnings, waiver from kids that they scare the hell out of. Again, it's a different story. No. It's a different standard. And you've got a DA who's telling somebody, why do you think he's so scared? What do you think he's so scared? What do you think he's freaking out over? Not only that, today a new one is the latest one. Oh yeah, and Nathan had a now this is probably in the scheme of things, but he had a garage door opener. Didn't that sound? That was the best. You know why? Because that's a piece of evidence that makes you feel like, you know what? That makes sense. That kind of makes sense. That makes sense. I'm kind of believing them. Sometimes people will say things. Sometimes people will say things and they'll just say, that's clever. This guy needed this a lot. And what did that do? It was the lying. That's why he needed that. Nobody knew about this because she and he were in the love nest. Her father didn't know about it. Her wife didn't know about it. Nobody knew about it except for Yurty and for Big Mouth Terry Bradley. This guy told everybody. And the latest he tells the law professor Aurora, oh yeah, about it. So everybody knows this. So the first question is, Judge McAfee, how many times do you think Fani Willis lied to you? Based upon the evidence of Mr. Bradley, Ms. Yurty, Mr. Aurora now, Ms. Yeager. Let me see who else would know this. Oh, and there are other whistleblowers in the office too because they can't stand this woman. She's hell to work for. So Judge McAfee, how many times do you think she lied to you? See, now this would be my thing. This would be to him to say, basically, what kind of a, pardon my French, what kind of a pussy are you to hear this? Any other judge with a hair on his ass would throw her in jail for direct or indirect criminal contempt because she lied to you. She committed perjury, but it was contempt. She lied to you and then sat in front of you. It looked like she was snapping gum or something. I don't know if she was, but she's rocking back and forth, basically looking at you, trying to what? Intimidate you? With Doofus Wade there? How many times did she lie to you? How many times? Is there a magic number before you do something? 5, 10, 15? Before we get into all this stuff about consideration and this and that, and I've got an affidavit, how many times did she lie to you? You're going to keep her in her office on this case? And I haven't even gotten to the other part yet. Obstruction of justice. Oh my God. Oh my God. For a prosecutor. Oh, geez. I would have ghosted him or have somebody from her office get a hold of him and say, listen, Terry, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Terry, what the hell's going on here? I'm asking this on my own, Terry. Fani doesn't know anything about this. Bullshit. Anyway, but what are you doing? What are you doing, man? No, seriously, are you out of your mind? What did she do anything to you? Do you have an axe to grind? Do you have some kind of are we missing something here? Are we not understanding something here? Maybe you can help us understand this. Because I don't understand where in the hell this came from. Why would you go out of your way to not only, and I'm just saying, ruin your career Because first of all, nobody is going to trust you. Nobody even wants to even get near you. Do you understand what I'm saying? What is the matter with you? What do you think he would say? This is what I love. I don't know about anybody else. I'll do it for free. I'll talk to him. What were you doing? What are you thinking? What's the matter with you? Why would you even talk to Ashley Merchant in the first place? What are you doing? Putting your name on this. This is a kiss of death. You signed a death warrant. Nobody's ever going to talk to you. You're against the DA. You're not even involved in this. You're not even a part of this. You came forward. You didn't have to do this. He's pissed off at you, and you look at her. She's as vindictive as hell. You're out of your mind. What went through your head? But you weren't done yet. No. You're in Cobb County? What are you talking to her for? Tell me it was a case. Tell me you were talking to her about some other case and you just happened to be there when the phone happened to ring and she happened to hear it. Why would you? I would lose that number. I didn't even want to talk to her. The DA is calling you. I would have a record of when the phone called her. And now this? Obstruction? Witness tampering? You went a step further? Oh, yeah. Oh, Wade's doing it. Yeah, sure, he's doing it. Oh, yeah. Why? Well, he even had and that I'm telling you, that business about he even had a garage door opener. That is like so inside information, and it makes complete and total sense. Now, there's another story going around. I don't know how important it is, but it just shows you just how out of his mind this guy is. How Terrence Bradley says, or somebody suggested that, I heard Terrence say that he and Nathan Wade hadn't talked in years. I saw him the other day or whatever it was. This guy is out of his mind. And the question the question is, all of a sudden, if you want to see her freaked out, really freak out, if she says, "Where's Terrence? I don't know. Anybody see him lately? No. Uh-oh. He's being kept. The feds got him. He's hidden. He's somewhere else. He's nowhere to be found." Try to get him on the phone. I mean, technically speaking, he's just a defense witness. He's a defense witness. I mean, oh my God. This is the most incredible case in the world. This is the most incredible case. And again, I'm going to ask this for the millionth time. What's Cindy Lee Yeager doing? Why is she? They must hate her. She's smart enough. She had to have told her boss, listen, I don't want to cause any problems here, but I'm gonna be making a phone call and telling these people about, whatever it is. You understand that? You got a problem with that? Oh no, go ahead. You sure? No, that's okay. They may hate the Cobb County DA may hate her. I don't think this woman to be a deputy DA, if that's what she still is. But for her to do this, she had to have gotten the okay from the Cobb County DA, which means they can't stand her. And now she's thinking right now, oh man, I don't have a friend. There's nobody there. Nathan. And Nathan's been so abused and thrown under the bus. He's been cuckolded. He is impotent. He had his stuff paid for. I mean, he looks like the biggest oaf of them all. This kind of like kept boy toy kind of, while Miss Prince. Unbelievable. And by the way, somebody was suggesting that Sadow gave this blistering closing or this blistering summation. Yeah, that'd be great on Fox News. That doesn't make the legal case, though. Because I'm going to tell you again. Don't argue conflict of interest. Don't go there. Argue perjury, argue something, argue the fact that almost at the point where you want to challenge a judge. Now remember, you piss the judge off too much, you're stuck with him. I guess he's going to be the trial judge. I don't think he's doing pretrial motions and then they assign the judge. I'm assuming he's going to be the trial judge. But very frankly, in front of the whole world, you want to say to him, he's a Republican. Remember, Kemp appointed him. You want to say, how many lies? It sounds like for how many times must I tell you, baby, before you finally understand? Judge, how many times are you going to lie to you? That's the angle. You're going to keep her on board? You don't think you're going to say, well, I'm able to put that aside. Excuse me. What about the people of the state or the people of Fulton County? That's number one. And now? What are we going to do with this? You've got right now a woman, the DA in front of you, who theoretically could have violated a veritable laundry list of federal charges up to and including obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and you're going to keep her, you're going to let her, you're not going to disqualify it? Are you kidding me? What does she have to do? Kill somebody? Forget the conflict of interest. Forget that. I mean, this is I cannot believe it. And like I told you, the one to know really right off the bat is, Terry, why did you do this? Why were you talking to her? Who pissed you off? Have you ever met people who love to be involved? It's almost like, this reminds me of? I know this is a stupid example, but I'm going to give you. Truman Capote and the Swans. Did you ever read that book? The Swans? Truman Capote, with Babe Paley, and he wrote that that book, that story, which basically outed all of them. And he fell out of graces. He did this for no particular reason. He destroyed himself. Who would ever go to Terrence Bradley as a lawyer again? Who? Would you? I wouldn't go in the first place, but I mean, and don't tell me he's moved to, Culver City. They see him there. He's there, and he's probably so stupid he probably thinks he's a star, but they're looking at him going. And a lot of folks in the black community are looking at him like, you turncoat, you rat bastard, you. You did this to her? You did this to her? This is a proud black woman, right? This is what she said in front of the black church. And this is what you do? Trump didn't do this. I don't expect any of those. What? You did this to her? To this woman, this proud woman, historic, a female wins election as the first African American district attorney in parts of Atlanta. This is huge. You just destroyed her political career for the advancement. A lot of people had their dreams. Little girls looked up to her. Oh, you can go on and on and on. And you did this? Why? You didn't have to say anything. Why did you do this? If Ashley called you up and said, listen, I'm going to talk to you, get the hell out of here. I'm not going to talk to you. I don't know anything. You should have pulled that Sergeant Schultz business there, but you didn't. What were you thinking? Or were you? Or you like Truman Capote? You just want to be in the mix. You just want to be, this is as close to being close to a case because you basically destroyed it. And then with Yeager, and that's the worst. And did you have to mention the garage opener? Seriously. I mean, is there any information? Now, let me also tell you something. Now, listen to me carefully. There's other stuff, right? These are the only ones coming forward. There are some other people who say, I'm not going to come forward. I don't care what this guy said. They may be crazy. I'm not crazy. Merchant's doing her job. She's solid. She is going to get litigator of the year for full guys. She is solid in the criminal defense bar. She's it. But and I know there are other people. Guess what they know at our office? You know how gossip is. Guess what they know? Guess what they're not saying? This is the most fantastic thing in the world. This is the only, and it's a story. I swear to you, if you'd have told me, I thought this is not interesting. But Terrence, that's the guy. That's the most interesting person in the world. And also, stupid. Fani getting on the phone and calling him. Oh, God. And my favorite is what's Anna Cross going to do? I can't wait for them to please. Do you think if they reopen the case, well, not reopen the case, they didn't really close it, but if they allow this thing in, do you think Fani's going to take the stand again? Is Anna Cross, the DA's lawyer? You have to read the Miranda to her. You have the right to remain silent. Are you sure you want to talk about this? Yeah. You sure you want to talk about this? Please let me be there to see the DA have Miranda read to them. In the biggest case ever. And then what happens is this. DOJ's not going to call her anymore. Biden's not going to call her. They're worrying about Super Tuesday. They're worrying about this and that. Tish James isn't going to call her. Jack Smith is going to call her. Nobody's going to call her. Nobody. She's like persona non grata. Nobody. She's kryptonite. She's radioactive. Nobody will touch her. It's over. It's done. And she can do whatever. She can take her $8 million. She can take her $8 million. It's the most incredible story in the world. You know, I got to tell you something. Did you see this? They say Ocasio-Cortez does not have a net worth of $29 million. Oh, wait a minute. This is AOC Cortez. But this one, because remember, AOC is, that's another story. So where's this going to happen? I don't know. What happens with this? I have no idea. But Trump is laughing his ass off. He is laughing his ass off. He doesn't know. He can't believe his good luck. He can't. And let me also tell you something. And this is something which is really critical. And this is important for you to understand. Even though the other cases have nothing to do with this, even though they have absolutely nothing to do with this, there is a certain stench that follows her. There is a stench all over the world. No, there's a funk, a feculent, fetid funk that makes everything kind of stink, even though it has nothing to do with it. Oh, yeah, the Mar-a-Lago case, the documents case, that's a stinker. What about the insurrection case? And by the way, that case may go bye-bye because of another case before the Supreme Court, which, even though not involving Trump, deals with the same issues. And then you got this piece of garbage that is just brutal. Nobody can understand. $60 million. This case makes a lot of sense. Stand by for a second, my friends. Stand by. Do you hear what these saboteurs are doing to Tesla and everything else? Do you hear today how Facebook and Instagram was down? All this stuff is happening. Do you ever think that maybe food sources and food supplies can go down? Oh, yeah. What would you do about that? Let's talk about a very serious subject, emergency food. That's right, emergency food. I know. At first blush, it's difficult for most people to think about something that they just take for granted, ever reaching emergency status. We're used to stores always being open, deliveries always made, no supply chain disasters, no ransomware catastrophes, none of that stuff. Nothing shutting down our gas stations, right? No trucking strikes, no war, no protests from farmers, nothing catastrophic in terms of weather. Nope, that can't happen to us. And I understand it's a defense mechanism that we have because the idea of ever not being able to eat or locate food is seemingly incomprehensible. Well, it's not. That's why it's time for you to go to my site, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com has the deal of deals for you. Now take it as a starter set. You've been putting off emergency food for too long. Some people still have a thing about prepping as though preparing for emergency is foolish. Now, right now, you can save $60 on a 4-week emergency supply kit. This is unbelievable. 16 varieties with a 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day in 2 beautifully modular buckets that weigh 38 pounds total. These are waterproof and they're perfectly stackable. 4 weeks, a month. Now, be honest, could you go a week without any trips to any store? I'm not talking about having stuff in your cabinet. I'm not talking about banana chips and jerky. I mean food, real food. So go right now to preparewithlionel.com, right now, right this moment, preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. You'll thank me, trust me. Indeed. My good friend Prometheus Forever says, just when you thought you were safe, geofencing emerges from the deep blue sea, or should one say the deep blue sky. That's a fascinating reference. By the way, speaking of geofencing, that's the one which nabbed, theoretically, Mr. Wade. Oh, my God. There's so much stuff. There's so, I don't even know where, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to continue with this. This is such a wonderful, 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 wonderful story. This is just wonderful. Well, I hope that you join me in recognizing the excitement. I want to always thank you for your connection and your being a part of this. Please let this, please, dear whoever, let her take the stand again. Please let her be subject to cross-examination. Please. Can they call her to the stand? Yes, absolutely. Don't you think it's important to say, wait a minute, this is Mr. Can we see if there was any kind of witness tampering? I want to subpoena her. Let Sato get a hold of her. Let her have it and taunt her so that she loses it. You see where she storms out? She storms out of the courtroom whenever Sato was there. She storms out. It's the most beautiful combination of petulance, childishness, immaturity, and a complete and total profound sense of stupidity. That's exactly what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Hang on a minute. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious day. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that little bell, that little notification bell to be made aware of new videos and the like. And also remember something which is very, very important and very, very critical, which I want you to understand. And keep in mind this, because this is something which is one of those things which I frankly like for you to understand, pay attention to, think very, very carefully. Think very, very carefully as to what I'm saying. Because, there's somebody here who for the longest time has been a part of our family. And I want to mention him before we go. That's our good friend at MyPillow, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Let me tell you something right now. This just very simple. I'm going to be luxuriating tonight on our percales and our MyPillow. You can also call 800-645-4965. Watch how fast Mike Lindell answers. Great people. Over the weekend we were driving down Route 3 and we drove by. Oh, look, there was a Harmon there. Oh, look, there was a Bed Bath & Beyond. They're gone. But Mike Lindell and MyPillow is still here. Best products, best clothes, best pillows, best robes, best towels, best slippers. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. And how about giving yourself a big round of applause? You are fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we will watch what happens. I want you to know how much I appreciate you making us the best site, the best platform, the best stream to really go through this. And not by just pointing out, oh, this is what happened, but telling you what it means. You are wonderful. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. There are 2 videos coming up that are going to blow your mind. And if you are a concerned citizen, parent, guardian, care provider, you must watch this. Because the answer, I'm going to say something to you right now. Okay. Look, I'm not going to tell anybody how to do their job. But when it comes to saving kids, would you do me a favor? Would you get these yucks off? Well, not all. I mean, it's a free country. But their idea of talking about how to protect kids is talking about spirit cooking and yelling pedo every 5 seconds. I'm sorry. You hurt the cause. You hurt the cause. You hurt the seriousness of it. You sound like a bunch of nuts. You hear what I'm saying? You sound like lunatics. There are people out there doing their very, very best to help people who need help. And they don't need you to exploit this by bringing up Abramovich. It's like, this is so old. This is like 6 years old, this argument. Please get with the program. Next thing you're going to be doing is talking about tunnels. Okay? That's what I say. All right, that was my version of reality. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious night. Thank you. You were so wonderful. Please don't forget. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. And don't forget these words, as we always do, every single time before we say goodbye. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That.